Life has a strange way of testing us. Sometimes, no matter how hard we try, things just don't seem to work out. And when that happens over and over again, we start believing that maybe we're just unlucky. This is the story of a young man who felt exactly that way, but what he learned changed his life forever. Rohan had one dream: to become a PCS officer. He had been preparing for 2 years, giving it everything he had. Long nights of studying, sacrificing fun, and staying away from distractions. But fate? Fate had other plans. Every time he sat for the exam, something went wrong. Sometimes he fell sick. Other times, he made small mistakes that cost him big. And then, there were times when, despite all his hard work, he simply didn't make the cut. Failure after failure crushed his spirit. But the worst part? His family was struggling financially. With money running out, Rohan had no choice but to take up a job as a pizza delivery boy. 8 hours a day, he delivered pizzas across the city, rushing through traffic, battling the scorching sun and heavy rains, all for a few hundred rupees. By the time he got home, he was exhausted. His books stared at him from the table, but he had no energy left to study. Instead, he would lie on his bed and think, maybe I'm just unlucky. Maybe this is my fate. And slowly, he started believing it. One evening, frustrated and lost, Rohan decided to clear his head. He wandered around town, trying to escape the weight of his own thoughts. That's when he ran into his old friend, Aman. Seeing Rohan's tired face, Aman knew something was wrong. "What's going on, Rohan? You look different." Rohan sighed. "I don't know, man. I had a dream. I worked for it. I gave it everything, but nothing worked. And now, I have to work this delivery job just to support my family. Every night, I come home and feel like a failure, like I'm just unlucky." Aman thought for a moment and then said, "Come with me. I want to show you something." They left town and climbed up a nearby hill where an old monastery stood. Inside, they met a wise monk, a man known for helping lost souls find their way. The monk listened to Rohan's story with a gentle smile. Then, instead of speaking, he gestured for them to follow him. They walked through a quiet open ground and stopped in front of a circus tent. Inside, there was a massive elephant, chained to a small wooden post with nothing but a thin rope. The elephant stood there calmly, not even trying to break free. The monk turned to Rohan and asked, "Do you see that elephant? It's powerful enough to uproot a tree. And yet it does not even try to break this tiny rope. Do you know why?" Rohan shook his head. The monk continued, "When this elephant was young, they tied it with the same rope. Back then, it was too weak to break free. It tried and tried, but no matter what, it couldn't escape. And after failing so many times, it finally gave up. It accepted that the rope was stronger than him. And now, even though it has the strength to break free in an instant, it doesn't even try. Because in its mind, it is still that helpless baby elephant." Rohan stood there stunned. The monk looked into his eyes and said, "Tell me, Rohan, are you also tied by a rope? Have you failed so many times that you have started believing you can never succeed?" Rohan's heart pounded. The answer was clear. Yes. That's exactly what had happened to him. He had let his failures define him. He had let his past mistakes convince him that no matter what he did, he would never win. But was that really true? Or was it just a belief? A belief that he could break just like the elephant could break its rope? That night, Rohan made a decision. He still had 8 hours of work, but now he would make time for his studies. No matter how exhausted he was, he would not give up. 1 hour turned into 2. 2 hours turned into 4. And before he knew it, he was back in the game. For 1 whole year, he pushed himself. He fought against every doubt, every negative thought. And then the day came. The results were out. With shaking hands, he opened the website. His heart raced as he scrolled down the list, and there it was. His name, he had done it. He was now a PCS officer. The rope had finally broken. So, my friend, let me ask you, what is your rope? Is there something in your life that is holding you back just because you think you can't overcome it? Maybe you've failed before. Maybe you've struggled. But that doesn't mean you can't win. Because strength is not just in the body, it's in the mind. And the moment you decide to break free, nothing in this world can stop you.